I want to first of all welcome you to the War Memorial here in Brockton, Massachusetts. I want to thank a lot of the folks that have joined us today as we do a ribbon cutting relative to a $6 million renovation that was funded solely by the American Rescue Plan Act, the ARPA, federal money that we received. I want to thank a couple of elected folks that are here today. Senator Mike Brady. Senator, thank you so much for being here. I want to thank State Representative Rita Mendez for being here. Thank you, Representative. City Councilor Jack Lally. Thank you, Councilor, for being here. We have two members of the War Memorial Trustees that are here today, Miles Jackson and Matt Stanton. Thank you very much for being here. We have a former member of the trustees. He's a clerk here in Brockton, Clerk Michael Dosh. Thank you very much for being here, Clerk. Post 35, I want to thank Tony O'Brien for being here today. Thank you very much. Members of the VFW, Post 1046, thank you very much for being here. City Councilor Susan Nicastro, thank you, Councilor, for being here today. Chief Brenda Perez, who leads the Brockton Police Department. Chief, thank you for being here today. I have to thank Kelly Young, who is an unbelievable advocate for veterans. She is the Director of Veteran Services, and her team here, based out of the War Memorial. Thank you very much, Kelly, for what you do. Again, I want to thank all of the city employees that are here. I see the solicitor here. I see the building commissioner, the assistant building commissioner, the DPW commissioner. I see the assessor here. I see the procurement director here. There's just a lot of people that are here. My chief of staff, Sidney Marrow, and I see John Messia here. But more. See, Miles is smart because it was Sidney's birthday yesterday. That's why he was giving her a little clap. I want to thank Tim Sullivan from the school committee for being here as well. So when we talk about this special building and what it means to those that have served our nation proudly and those that paid the ultimate sacrifice, this was dedicated in 1930. This is a beautiful building. It really, really is. And we're going to talk a little bit later about what was done. I do have to give a shout out to Dan Smith and Emma Resco because they were critical here in this building on modernizing it, reimagining it, and really repurposing it. So I want to thank you for being here today. When we started getting the ARPA money, we tried to figure out what was the biggest bang for the buck? Like, what could we do to really maximize the federal money for long-term legacy projects? And when I was asked that, I said, War Memorial, Council on Aging, City Hall, right off the bat. And then we want to do the parks around the 7 wards. But the veterans and the seniors, we owe everything to. And I want to thank everybody that's here in attendance that has protected and served our nation during good times and troubling times, during war and non-war. So again, I want to thank all of the veterans. But before we actually get in, I would ask everybody to please stand, and we're going to salute our American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you could please remain standing, and we'll take a moment of silence for every proud American that has served and paid the ultimate sacrifice. May they rest in peace. Amen. I want to thank Suzanne McCormick from my office, who has coordinated this today as well. Suzanne, are we doing the national anthem?
I have a recording of Troy. Should we play it?
We should play it. Mr. Troy Clarkson is the CFO. If you came to the 9/11 memorial ceremony yesterday, Troy sang it in person. He actually is under the weather today, so he took the time, and we will do the national anthem right now.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this time, I'm going to invite to the podium Kelly Young, Director of the city's Veteran Services. Kelly.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you for being here. This is a great building. It's a great, we're really lucky to have it as an office, and we're lucky to be able to extend the use of the building to vets around the city. There aren't a lot of safe places that are easily accessible if you're just like hanging out. What do I do in the day for a reasonable cost? We're really happy to be able to offer it to vets and have beautiful events here. And have heat and AC while we do it. So when you look around, when the mayor and Dan Pallotta and whoever's going to tell you about the renovations, when they read the list, you're full of it if you tell me you understand any of it besides they painted this room and they redid these floors, right? Unless you're in the trades. The most important things that were done, I think, are the roof and the fresh air exchange. They're invisible things, and I can tell you as a vet, I'm going to speak for the other vets in the city when I say it's the invisible things that are have the biggest influence and impact on us. So something like fresh air, having fresh air is really important, because I remember times where I thought I was breathing fresh air, and it was actually like burn pits. And I know there are folks in the rooms that they thought they were breathing fresh air, and it was Agent Orange. And years later, you figure out, oh wow, that really, I'm never going to be the same after this. And you didn't even see it. It was invisible. So that's really important for this building. And then the water damage that was happening from the roof, I really had no idea until they started poking holes in the walls and the floors what was actually going on. So I'm really happy that we stopped that. The roof doesn't leak. We don't have more invisible damage, and the building isn't going to crumble, and hopefully it'll be here for the next, I don't know, how long does a building last? When they were older, they lasted longer, right? Now they're doing, like, they say 100-year construction. I don't know in 1930 what they were doing, but hopefully we'll get another 100 years out of it. We're almost at 100. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for putting such an investment into something that we can't see the bulk of it, because all that money wasn't spent on, the paint and the floors and fixing some cracks and some rugs, right? It was stuff that's foundational and structural, and you don't know that you're enjoying it until it's, you're in here for when it's going to, hopefully it doesn't, but if it rained on Veterans Day and we have heat to keep us warm and we're not, in a freezing building, because this room was a tough room to heat in the past. So I want to thank everybody who had a say in how we invested that money. This was a great choice. I'm biased, but I'm appreciating it. The vets in the city are appreciating it. And I hope you have a great afternoon wandering around looking at the building. Thanks.
Again, we're very fortunate to have Kelly's leadership here and her entire team that helps each and every day the veterans here in the city of Brockton, and also vets that come to Brockton that are located in other municipalities abutting us. So thank you again, Kelly, for what you do and your team. At this time, Senator Michael Brady to the podium, please. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I want to thank all the people who showed up today and thank all our veterans. You know, we've had a busy week. We honored two people that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country, Captain Palermo and Corporal Fisher at South Middle School recently. And there's many, many other veterans and their families that give the ultimate sacrifice to have the freedom that we enjoy in this and be able to assemble in free assembly today. And, you know, this is a beautiful building, and the mayor and myself grew up in Ward 2, so we know this building very extensively because this is where one of the biggest precincts for Ward 2 voting is as well. But it's very important we continue to honor our veterans. Yesterday, we had the memorial services in the city of Brockton in the State House for September 11th, and we think of all those men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice, not only veterans, but firefighters, public safety personnel, police officers, and even average citizens who saved a lot more families from being killed to take down that last plane that would have went into either the White House or the other federal buildings. So I am honored to be your state senator, and I just got a little small recognition, if we can have Kelly Young come up here. And this is for all the veterans, but this is a State Senate official citation. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Brockton's Veteran Services in recognition of the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the War Memorial Building renovations, honoring the memory of the many Brocktonians who fought for our nation. And this is signed by the Senate President Karen Spilka, the clerk Michael Hill, and myself. And thank you for all you do for our veterans, because you've been a great help to us. Whenever there's needs of veterans out there, you're just a phone call away. And I know you don't just help Brocktonian veterans out, but you were up in Foxborough recently to help veterans statewide. So thank you for all you do. And again, thank you to all our veterans in the audience.
Thank you, Senator. At this time, State Representative Rita Mendez, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is an honor to be here. So I don't know anything about the stuff that no one can see, but I do know about the AC that we can all feel. It's very nice, and we're here in a lot of events. So the stuff that we do see and feel, it really makes a huge difference. So thank you all the people that put in the work. It is so much needed. And I also have a citation from the House of Representatives from myself, Rita Mendez, that represents this district, State Representative Jerry Cassidy. He's the chair of the veterans at the State House, so he's a strong supporter. It's going to be a huge loss, but we're going to get a replacement for him that it's also from Brockton, that is going to continue to fight for our veterans and the people here in Brockton, and also Representative Michelle Dubois. So, Ms. Kelly Young. To the Brockton Veteran Services in recognition of the War Memorial Building renovation to better allow our Veteran Services Department to continue their dedicated work in supporting the people who have defended our great nation throughout the years. Thank you so much. It's signed by all the three representatives from Brockton and the Speaker of the House, Ron Mariano. Thank you. And Representative Michelle Dubois, you want to come up so you get in a picture? The perfect entrance. We timed this.
I really appreciate it. Perfect timing. That was great. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, you want to? Sure. Senator, everybody. Want to do one more? We'll shift.
Okay, you tell me what.
If you'd like to see any of the citations, they'll be in my office. We won't be poking any holes in the walls to hang them up after what we just did.
I think that's a smart idea. Yes, judicious management of the funds is always good. I wouldn't mind.
Representative Michelle Dubois, please.
Hi, everyone. I'll be very quick. I'm just honored to be here among all of you at this wonderful appreciation of this ARPA expense, and I want to commend Mayor Sullivan for putting veterans first in his allocations of these funds, and I look forward to being here. If I can be of service to anyone, please reach out. Thank you so much.
City Councilor Jack Lally, City Councilor Susan Castro, any words? Well, I want to just thank you both for being here and advocating at all times for our citizens and our veterans. And same thing, Mr. Sullivan, thank you for advocating. I actually have to thank three individuals, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, U.S. Senator Ed Markey, and Congressman Stephen Lynch. Of course, Congressman Lynch has always been an advocate for our veterans. Without the efforts of our federal delegation, we wouldn't even be here today. And when President Biden signed into law the ARPA money, we weren't even sure how much we were going to get. But Brockton was extremely beneficial. We got a total of 51, a little over 51 million. 34 million, that was a direct tranche allotment to the city from the feds. Congressman Lynch came that day at City Hall. And then the county, and again, we're the only city in Plymouth County, received between 90 and 100 million from the feds direct. And we've gotten a little over 17 million on that endeavor. So again, we are spending money, I think, wisely. Other municipalities are spending it differently, one-offs. But these are projects that were long overdue, but they're also fitting tributes to Brocktonians. And they will be proud to know that the feds will be proud to know that the money here in the City of Champions is being utilized in a truly beneficial way. When you talk about this wonderful building, those that served on the City Council, and I remember Solicitor Bridges was here, and at the time she was pregnant with triplets, but we needed to have budget hearings here because the elevator at City Hall was broken. And it was June, it was mid-June, and it was brutal. And we had to sit in here and do the budget hearings, and it almost got too much. It was really unbearable to sit in this room. And so this was several years ago. Mayor Carpenter was in office, and I was thinking to myself, you know, this building's not being utilized in the way that it should be, right? It needs to be really updated, reimagined, repurposed. And I also have to thank Dave Farrell, who was the executive director of the Veteran Services before Kelly, because when I became mayor, David was in that position, and we took a tour of this, and I said, you know, a couple things we have to do. Number one, we have to come up with money to figure out best purpose for this building, to really maximize the potential of this building, to be able to utilize it for its really original purpose, right, which was to support our veterans, but also to showcase our veterans. And so I also had asked David at that time to put up flags here of every branch of service. And so we have those up here. And we will continue to always showcase all branches of the armed services because we are thankful for each and every one who has served. I also want to let you know that we weren't sure, I'm not a construction guy, so we weren't sure how to manage millions and millions of dollars and projects at the same time. So we put an RFP out, request for proposal, and we got one person applying, Dan Pallotta. And Dan Pallotta, that name might ring a bell. He used to be a county commissioner for Plymouth County. So he did serve the citizens of Brockton in that capacity, but he also is an expert for construction. So we brought him on as the ARPA manager. We also brought on another individual named Jerry Chipman. And both of those gentlemen couldn't be here today, but without their efforts and their professionalism and their dedication, number one, we're on budget or under budget on all projects, so that was critical. But also, it was all the little touches that they did on the projects. Tomorrow, we're going to be up on West Chestnut Street to honor Timothy Holster, who again was a Brocktonian that paid the ultimate sacrifice because we've spent ARPA money on Holster Field up there on West Chestnut Street. And we will continue to showcase every veteran in the city of Brockton. We will continue, and Kelly is an advocate for this, continue to showcase and beautify all the parks and squares and dedicated locations for our vets here in the city of Brockton. We will continue to do that because we need to. That is our responsibility. But I just wanted to let you know, Chief Brian Nardelli from the Fire Department is here as well. Chief, thank you for being here. Rob May is here, our city planner. Thank you very much. But when we talk about this building and we talk about the purpose, well, the purpose was to honor the veterans, the men and women that died for our nation, but also for our city. And we needed to make sure that those that did pay the ultimate sacrifice had a true remembrance. Now, a couple decades ago, there was a renovation, right, to the right side of this building, and there's an elevator, and there was some bricks there as well. I know my wife and I have our name on there, but at the end of the day, we needed to come inside. It wasn't external. We needed to come inside. We needed to go from the bottom of this building to the top of the building. and the bottom of the building had, back in the day, basketball courts and squash courts, but it had bathrooms, number one, that had showers in there that were never going to be utilized again. So we needed to figure out how to maximize space in the building interior. And so some of the things that were done, we now have ADA compliant restrooms here in the entire building. All the plaster was repaired inside the building. There is a new roof, which was long overdue. It was really leaking quite a bit, it really was, and it was damaging historical components of this building. The building itself is historical, but the contents that are here, from the manuscripts to VA cards to newspaper clippings from the Enterprise going back to World War I. So we wanted to make sure everything was safeguarded and protected. Code compliant fresh air component is the most important thing that Kelly talked about. We needed to have an HVAC system in here that was appropriate and proper and going to be done so we could maximize this building. The new exterior areas, we're not quite done with those. And I want to thank Pat Hill. We were able to expand the parking lot. We took down some trees there internally, and we put some pebbles. It'll be asphalted in the near future. We're going to extend the parking to maximize this. The windows here, we did energy efficient storm window replacement. We also restored some of the historic windows and the trims around them. But more importantly, this is the building, the component of the building that's used the most, this beautiful auditorium. So when you look at this, the hardwood was refinished, all the little touches, right? But now we have the ability to have a high efficiency technology, state-of-the-art technology. We are going to be able to use this for movies and community theater and promotions and just so much to be able to help the veterans but help the community as a whole. So I just want to thank you all for being here. All of you, first of all, are proud Brocktonians or work here in the City of Champions to better it. I also, again, want to thank, I know Karen Williams is here on behalf of the VA Hospital. The VA Hospital has been a wonderful partner since I took office. During COVID, they were one of the first medical facilities to step up and work, not just for vets, but all Brocktonians, so I'm really thankful to the VA Hospital. But again, today we would not be here without the federal money, so a big thanks, sincere thanks to our federal partners. We will continue to work with our partners. I will be going down there in April looking for more money to come back home. But I would ask all of you to always thank a vet, because a lot of vets came back, especially those that, and I see this gentleman, that fought in Vietnam, and they were not treated appropriately as Americans when they came back. So I want to thank you, sir. I want to thank all the vets. I know just 2 weeks ago in Building 7 up at the VA, the hospice wing, we had quite a few, well, not quite a few, but I think a dozen individuals that had fought in Korea, and there's probably half of them left now because they're passing away at a rapid pace. We actually have a few Brocktonians that fought in World War II. I know Eddie Giraldi from Ward 2 is still around at 100 years of age, who stormed the beaches of Normandy, and he liberated a concentration camp and the Battle of the Bulge. But we are here today to thank those that fought in any conflicts, any war, those that are still serving, because when they come back home, this is going to be their building as well. So I thank each and every one of you. I'm going to ask, usually we have all the elected officials come up. I'm going to ask the veterans to cut the ribbon today. We, as elected officials, will stand behind you because we support you, but I'm going to have the veterans, any person that's here today that has served, please come up, and you're going to have the honor to cut the ribbon. Thank you.
Should we move this? Or no, it's all hooked up.
So that does conclude the official ribbon cutting ceremony, but please don't run away. Please walk around the building, envelop this building. God bless the city of Brockton, God bless the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and God bless our United States of America. Thank you very much, everybody.